Good evening, folks. It is great to see you all. As always, my name is Casey Halpern, and I'm excited to host Profit Duel's second annual Brackets, Bet, and Banter Show as we get you set for March Madness. If you're new here, I highly recommend you do not listen to a word that comes out of my mouth when it comes to picks. But if you're here for the banter, that's a sharp decision on your part. Anyways, I'm thrilled to welcome back my friend, my former colleague, Ryan Bornemann of Pikkit Sports. Ryan, welcome back to the stream. How you doing?
Good, Casey. How are you? How things been?
Things are lovely. You know, pretty par for the course. I had another devastating golf loser this past Sunday. I had Matt Fitzpatrick to win the Players Championship, who held the one-shot lead going into hole 71 of the tournament, and lost to Cam Young. So that was fun, but yeah, par for the course, all good. Ready to find some more losers now.
Yeah, it never ends for you, seemingly. In the
No, it
golf.
doesn't. And that was going to be a very, very, very big one. So, but my eggs didn't hatch.
On to the
That's
next one.
that's the unfortunate reality. But look, that's why we're here. That's why you're here. You're here to give us some sharp picks and hopefully direct us in the right direction. But let's get into it. I know we're a bit pressed for time here. As someone who hasn't watched a whole lot of college basketball outside of Wisconsin this season, I did circle a few games that did catch my eye. I did a little due diligence here. I'm not just going in cold here. But Ryan, I guess we'll start off with some intriguing round one matchups that you're eyeing. I could kick us off. It's the first game actually of the tournament. Well, one of the first few games. It's a play-in game tomorrow night. Miami, Ohio versus SMU. Miami, Ohio was undefeated right before they lost in the whatever conference tournament they're in to UMass.
Yeah,
Side note, I had no idea Frank Martin was still coaching college basketball. Had no idea and would have never guessed he was the coach of UMass. But yeah, Miami of Ohio was 31-0 prior to that game. And they are now 6.5-point dogs against SMU, who was 20-12 or 20-13. And SMU was described to me as a red flag team in Tim Holds the Sheet. If you don't know about Tim Holds the Sheet, I spoke about it all last year's show. Go check him out at thold42 on X. And just incredible content in there. So I'm not going to list out everything else he has in there, but they are a glaring red flag team, SMU. And I don't know. I feel like Miami, Ohio, I was able to get them at plus 8.5. It's now been bet down to plus 6.5. So I'm going to take my 2 points of CLV and put it on my refrigerator right there next to my Matt Fitzpatrick outright ticket from last week. But yeah, that's where I'm starting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that team at all. I mean, they had to be in the tournament. Obviously, there was a lot of commotion around if they were going to actually even make the tournament to begin with, and which is just it'd just be bad for the sport. I think if a team has one loss and cannot get in a round of 64 teams, but I would be against you here now. If I got it at 8.5, I probably would have took it, but I like the 6.5 from SMU on this side of this one. So I'm very interested for this game.
I mean, look, I might buy back in. We'll see if it could get to 6, 5.5. Anyone on the Terriers? I believe that's UMBC, and you mean the Retrievers. They don't have a lean there, but I would maybe take UMBC. I have no idea.
I've had Howard in that one if that's the team that they're playing. So I'm against you on that.
Well, I'm not betting it. I'm just saying.
Not you, our fellow commenter here. If that's the
RBR Baller 3. Okay, so we got a nice matchup here. Ryan's on the Bison and he's on the Retrievers, which RBR Baller 3 thinks are the Terriers. Okay. I did say that SMU was going to dismantle Miami of Ohio, and then I got a really nice number on Miami of Ohio, and it seems to be moving in my direction here. But look, I still might stand by that statement. My fridge is full of tickets. It's a sight to see. Good CLV, but very little results. Is there a matchup that you're specifically eyeing?
Yeah, I mean, just from an eyeing perspective, I'm actually really curious in the it's the 1-4 versus 13 matchup. It's actually Nebraska versus Troy. That's the first game I was actually looking at. Nebraska has actually never won an NCAA tournament game in the history of their program, and they started out the season 20-0, and were incredible. They played Michigan close. I think they beat Illinois, Wisconsin at one point during the season too, and they've kind of like totally fallen off. And I think that this is the most like Troy is the most likely 13 seed to upset a four seed here too. So I'm actually very curious how this one plays out. I think Troy likes to shoot the three, and Nebraska actually plays really good defense against the three. So I'm curious I'm really just curious like how this game shakes out. Like I think it should be one of the more fun matchups here.
It's pretty crazy that a team that used to be in the Big 12 and now is in the Big 10 has never won a NCAA tournament game in
their only other appearance in the last decade was in 2024. They haven't even appeared.
But it's pretty crazy. Like, it's such a big school, and like they have like a big athletic program. You would think otherwise.
No, absolutely. It's just wild.
All I know is that Fred Hoiberg's the coach of Nebraska. So not a bad guy to have on the sidelines there. I'm not going to pretend and sit here like I know anything about either of those teams, but that sounds nice. What you make a compelling case for it.
It should be a fun one. I'm excited for it. Those are just one of the ones that I didn't want to go with, your traditional, 8-9 game that are going to be close. And I'm not excited for any of the bigger ones. And my 8-9, my Clemson Tigers are an 8-9 game. So of course I'm excited for that one. But
let's pump the brakes on the Clemson.
Yeah, exactly.
I am eyeing actually 2 8-9 matchups in the first round. For the sake of time, I'm going to cross one off here. But specifically, the Thursday night, late night matchup between number 8 Georgia and number 9 St. Louis in the Midwest region. I am betting on the Billikens blindly, and I'm solely doing it because Robbie Avila, that's it. He has the best nickname in all of sports, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. He transferred from Indiana State following his coach and fellow tribe member, Josh Schertz. So I'm taking the St. Louis Billikens plus 2.5 and on the money line. And Georgia is coincidentally another one of those red flag teams that I mentioned in Tim Holds the Sheet. So I like it even more. I'm on the Billikens both straight up and on the money line. So,
it's we're 1 for 2 because I actually am on them as well. I like them to win. I like them to win that game. So I'm.
I mean, it's one of the greatest nickname in sports history. So it's hard to bet against the guy.
Yeah, that guy's just electric. So I want him to move on a little bit too. And they got a higher. I think they've got a higher net rating than Georgia. Actually, a little bit behind, but I think it should be a good matchup. And I honestly think it should be closer to like a pick 'em. So I'm gonna have them on the spread and the money line as well.
Okay, I like it. Is there another matchup you're eyeing before we got on to
Yeah. The next one that I'm super curious about is actually the UNC versus the VCU game. I think this is a big spot where people are looking at VCU to upset UNC. I think UNC is still currently a slight favorite in that game. Pretty sure VCU runs the press. They played like a high tempo, and UNC is recently without their best player. Obviously, he got hurt, broke his hand before the ACC tournament. Or during the ACC tournament, yeah, brutal. He's really good. Going to be a high draft pick. I watched them against Clemson, and they made a hell of a comeback in that game and almost beat Clemson with a bunch of people down. But they're still a talented team, and I'm actually this is one of the spots that I'm actually going to buy UNC here, and I'm going to take them to win and cover in this game, and not. I'm kind of fading the public impression here of VCU just upsetting UNC because they're down a couple guys. I still think they're a talented roster. Their coach has done well in the tournament so far, and he's got some experience. So this is a spot that I like UNC here.
Interesting. So you're going against the grain here a bit. What did that open at? I admittedly didn't look for that one.
I'm trying to look at the current moment. Give me 1 second, and I will have it pulled up here. I just got to do a little bit of scrolling. Let's see. What is that game on Friday or Thursday? On Thursday or Friday?
Friday, if I recall.
Friday.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
Let's see. No, it's on Thursday. You lied to me.
That's why I can't find it. I was like, on the meantime.
Yeah. Hold on one sec. I'll get it. It opened at 1.5. It's now down to 2.5 UNC's way.
Interesting. So there's been a 3-point swing.
No, it opened at 1.5 UNC's on UNC's side.
Oh, sorry.
1-point swing. Yeah.
I thought I was like 3. That's pretty.
Yeah. No, I'm buying the Tar Heels in this situation.
And it would have 0 there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. No, I'm buying the Tar Heels here. I think I have them first half money line. I think I have them on basically every spot at the current moment. So
I thought UNC had a shot to actually win it all if Caleb Wilson didn't get hurt, because I think he's a very, very good talent. And they had a great year, obviously, prior to his devastating injury. But obviously, your alma mater's Clemson. They're back in the big dance. My alma mater's Wisconsin. So give me your unfiltered thoughts on the Clemson Tigers going into this tournament. I know we were high on them a bit last year, and we proved to look like absolute idiots. So
maybe it's going to be the other way around, because I think they're not very good. They're not. They could have been good. They lost their starting center to ACL injury against UNC, actually. So they're down him. He was one of their 2 double-digit scorers that they had, and their other double-digit scorer scores 11.7 points per game, and he was at like 10.2. So this Clemson team just cannot score the basketball. It's really insane, but they play incredible defense, which keeps them in games, and they do a really good job of winning ugly games, but the game has to be a low-scoring ugly game for them to win. And I think the way that they can win against this Iowa team, I don't remember the guy's name, but Iowa has one guy who averages like 20-something points per game, and he's kind of like their engine. If they can slow him down and keep the game close and control the tempo, they definitely can win this game, but they just can't score with anybody is the problem. So I think Brad Brownell's done a really good job with the team this year, because they lost one of their freshman guards early on, who was supposed to be a scorer for this team, and none of the other guards have really like stepped up as like a scorer. Our next best guard averages 9.6 points per game, which is just not going to cut it in March. So it's got to be an ugly game. I think they're not very good. Losing the starting center hurt. They have a transfer, Davidson, who should step up in his absence, from Nevada, who is supposed to be a little bit of a bigger time transfer than he's been for the Tigers. So maybe he provides some sort of spark. He played well in the couple games in the Duke game without him. So we'll see. But no, I'm not very high on them. I don't know if they get it. If they get past Iowa, they're not going to get past whoever they play next.
Fair enough. I mean, whoever they would play next would be what, the one seed? No.
Yeah, it would be. I got to remember who's in their bracket. Let me look down on my phone really quick and see the breakdown.
I mean, so I wouldn't expect them to even go that very far, but
they made it Elite Eight a couple years ago, and then a couple years prior to that. I don't think that run's happening this year.
They did. The Wisconsin Badgers have proven that this team can absolutely hang with anyone. They beat Michigan, Purdue, and Illinois all on the road. They rank 11th in offensive efficiency, 51st in defensive efficiency. They are elite from the charity stripe, almost 79%, and really good from 3, making 36% of their 3-point field goal attempts. But the Wisconsin Badgers have not made the second weekend in 9 years, which is really, really hard to believe. And look, the last time the Badgers and Greg Gard did make the second weekend, it was with Bo Ryan's team. So Greg Gard has truly never made weekend number 2 with his own group of guys. So I'm really curious if this is the year. I mean, look, I expect them to win in the round of 64. And then I don't think Arkansas is that great. I know they just did win the SEC championship, but Darius Acuff, it's a one-man band over there. And I think if Whiskey can get hot on offense, they're going to be a very, very tough team to beat. So I'm expecting them to go to the Sweet 16. And if they don't, that is a colossal disappointment. And the schmuck Wisconsin athletic director should probably look for potential new fill-in at head coach, like he probably should have done for the football team, but we're run by a bunch of jackasses over there in Madison. But yeah, that's the honest truth. It's pretty insane that they have not made the second weekend in 9 years.
Crazy.
Because when I was at school there, I was fortunate enough to witness their greatest run in program history, right? 2 Final Fours and just 2 Sweet 16 appearances after that. And they probably should have made another Final Four if Chris Chiozza didn't hit one of the most unbelievable shots in NCAA tournament history. So just a real fall off from in the last decade since Bo Ryan's departure in their NCAA tournament success. So would really like to see them make it to next weekend, but I have my doubts.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy fact. I honestly wouldn't have guessed that if you just said it. I guess they're just kind of
it's very under the radar.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this year they have 2 really good guards, and they got a good big as well. Like they got a solid team.
They have a really good team. Nolan Winter, who's their big man, averaging 13 and 9. He's been hurt, so he's expected to return. But yeah, Boyd and Blackwell are both almost 20-point a game scorers. So
yeah, that's crazy.
They have the good ingredients to make some noise. But
they got their one scorer is like double our Clemson's best scorer, which is
yeah, I can't believe
we got the opposite impact.
The second best scorer when you said that. That's insane to me.
Yeah, we had two. I think Godfrey averaged like 11 point. It averages like 11.7. Welling was averaging like 10.5, and then we got Foster, who's just under 10 at 9.6. So that's our 3-headed monster that we have. Not a single one up in the scoring of your third scorer there.
First weekend guard from Safari Ari. Yeah, that's what we should call him. Maybe he is not a silent assassin like John Rothstein portrays him to be. That I will say. Like get the hell out of here with even giving that guy a nickname. He's never made it past the round of 32 with his team. Emphasis on his team. So we'll see if he could do it this year. Who's your favorite round 1 upset? And don't just give me like a 2-point dog here.
Well, okay, so I wrote down a couple, but I'll give you like my mid-tier one. I don't know. The one that I like is Akron over Texas Tech is my I think that let's see what their odds are right now.
I mean, no JT Toppin is just a brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal for him. That's really all it is. Is like I think if anyone's going to go down in that group, it's going to be Texas Tech. They really can't make a run without. They're good, but they can't make a run without Toppin. Like he's
their best player.
Incredible player. They're just it's tough sledding. So that's where I'm at. Obviously, I talked a little bit about the Troy and Nebraska game, so that's another one that I'm looking at where a 4 versus a 13 as a potential upset as well. But my 5 versus 12 is this is my 12 seed to upset a 5 seed here. I like Akron to be the team to do it.
Interesting. Okay. Akron, the Zip. Gross, the former coach at Illinois. I'm going to sound like a homer here because this is insane. I'm going to the Midwest region, and I'm looking at that 4-13 matchup. As a South Shore Long Island guy, how can I not take the Hofstra Pride in their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2001? 2001. Jay Wright was their coach then. Speedy Claxton, who is the best player in Hofstra history, is now the head coach of Hofstra. And interestingly enough, Hofstra is actually pretty damn good at basketball. Since February 1st, Hofstra is 32nd in defensive efficiency and lead the nation in effective field goal percentage and 2-point defense. They're 32nd against the 3-ball. Hofstra wants to grind you out, so they rank 317th in adjusted tempo. Obviously, Alabama and Nate Oates, they like to make it a track meet. They rank 4th there. They jack up threes. But I was talking about that sheet earlier that Tim Holt puts out, and a good way to spot upsets is to find those disparities and those differences in tempos and those styles of play. So stylistically, couldn't be complete opposites here. Also, Hofstra, just really good veteran guards, and you need that come March. But again, I might be a homer here. I used to go to some Hofstra basketball games growing up. We would head up the Uniondale Hooters, which I don't think is there anymore. Stare at some nice puppies before we go watch the boys shoot some hoops. So give me Hofstra plus 11.5 and on the money line at plus 600. Ryan, I'm going to actually have to text you after this because you're going to have to place Hofstra for me when you head back to Hoboken. So expect
I'm seeing plus 580. I'm seeing plus 580 right now. So
right.
You're looking pretty good on FanDuel.
When I wrote this up in my notes, I'm like Ryan Russillo here using a legal.
I got a notepad too. Don't worry. I got a notepad too. You're so old fashioned.
That's how you got to be. Also, Bama is without Aiden Holloway, who is their best offensive player on the team, who was caught with, I think, over a pound of weed. Tough luck to be having that and getting caught right before the NCAA tournament. Hope he's all right and stays out of legal trouble. But, yeah, that's tough. I like Hofstra. Hometown guy is right, baby. Represent the South Shore. The Hofstra Pride, formerly known as the Hofstra Flying Dutchman. Let's go get a tournament victory in your first appearance in 25 years. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I'll get that in for you. So we'll that'll be.
I'm on the spread at the old PPH, but you'll have to do the money line for me.
I mean, I'm gonna have to join you at some point. I gotta look at a couple more of these upsets and see what else I like. But like I said, I like my Troy and Akron are my two right now. So I'm gonna relook at the board after this from and whatever notes we've got, and go from there too.
I like it. I don't know. I hope they win. That would be sick. But it's pretty crazy that it's their first NCAA tournament appearance in 25 years, and Jay Wright was the coach when they last appeared. They did get shafted in 2020. They did win their conference, and obviously there was no tournament, so that sucks. But they're gonna make some noise, hopefully. Give me your favorite round one favorite. Where are you eating chalk?
Where I'm eating, this will go down probably if we go into our most. I got two that I actually like, and we've kind of mentioned both of them already. I really like Wisconsin to cover. Like I think that I really like them round one here, and I think I got them at 8.5 and at up to 10.5 some places, and I just really love the 8.5, 9.5 number for Wisconsin to cover in this first round.
Man, I like it. Your mouth got ears. I hope they cover. Hold on. This fella, Zach, will you be attending Supply House this year? That's a good question. I hope the answer is yes. Look, I hope Whiskey covers. Again, it's a colossal disappointment if they don't. They should. They're a much better basketball team. And shadily, this is a matchup between two of the nicest campuses in the United States. Apparently, High Point's got an exceptional campus, and I hear the talent there is absolutely lovely. The same can be said for Wisconsin, Madison. So I'll leave you with that.
It's crazy. High Point's not that far from Clemson, and I think I've driven past it, but I've never actually driven through it. I knew a couple people who went there, and now that you're saying it, I do remember that it's supposed to be incredibly pretty, and I just never took the time to just go over there for whatever damn reason.
Well, you can still do it.
Yeah, it's a little late now.
I'm taking UConn minus 20. Solely based on the fact that they just got their asses kicked by St. John's in the Big East final. And you just know Danny Hurley's just going to have the dogs out for blood here after getting their doors blown off. Also, UConn is a perfect 14-0 against the spread in the last 3 NCAA tournaments. And Danny Hurley is 17-3 against the spread in the tourney in his career, and a perfect 8-0 against the spread as a favorite of 7 or more points. So I'm expecting UConn to kick the shit out of whatever team they're playing in round one. I'm forgetting, but give me the Huskies to bounce back in a way.
Bobby Hurley, he's gonna have them ready. Or Danny Hurley, geez, he's gonna have them ready. He's gonna have them ready to go.
Just an absolute psychopath.
Yeah, it's insane that clip. When the both of them were getting teed up from a couple of weeks ago or getting ejected. That was some good stuff.
Really was. And my other lean is actually on the Fighting Mick Cronins. I do like UCLA minus 5.5. So
who does UCLA have?
UCF.
Oh yeah.
Who is also another red flag team in the sheet. So
yeah,
I'm just fading all the red flag teams.
From the sheet.
Yeah. I'll send you it after.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. I did a little bit of research, and I put it in a bookmark on my Twitter. I got to dive back in. Admittedly, I did a bunch of research last night and got some in at lunchtime today. But I still got to dive a little bit deeper. I only made a couple brackets here, and I'll probably have a lot more information over the next 2 days. It's been a busy week over here.
We'll have to hear more about that. You have any live futures that we need to know about?
I don't have anything. I have nothing open at the current moment for the NCAA tournament at like deep in the tournament at this point. I got nothing going, unfortunately.
Well, I've got a really good one.
Uh-oh.
It's the complete opposite of good. I have Gonzaga 16-1 preseason. I like them at 16-1. I'll love them at 50-1 currently on FanDuel. I'll tell you that much.
You know, now that you say it, Casey, I actually might. Let me do a quick little filter.
Those are as good as garbage. Those are cooked. Braden Huff, their best players out, I think. I don't think he's going to play. But I also did have Colin Morikawa parlayed with UConn that I took 2 weeks ago. Colin to win the players and UConn to win it all. But that was avoided last week when he withdrew after hole 1 after parring the first hole. So.
Yeah, that was like, what was that, a freak? That was such a freak thing too, where he just swung and then just pulled his hole back out.
Yeah, he did. But look, that happens. I literally just sat down and my groin immedially hurt. So I have to deal with that after this as well.
You're not a professional athlete though, so I would give you a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt than him there.
Yeah. Just sucks, but.
Oh, you know what I actually have, Casey? Remember we talked about Vandy at 70-1. I actually took them at that point, so I do have Vandy.
I think they're 60-1 now, so put it on your fridge. Good CLV.
I got one more actually too. I have UConn to reach the Final Four that I placed. God knows when, in October.
Those odds probably aren't that good then.
No. I think I could do better at the current moment than where they're at.
Yeah, you're probably right. How many?
Those are my only two at the moment. I'm going to dive in at some point. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Well, I'm only filling out one bracket this year, and I'm just doing it last second tomorrow. There's no point. I think with nil, it's very. There's a lot less kind of surprises a bit. Look, the 3 number 1 seeds this year, 3 of the 4 number 1 seeds, Duke, Arizona, and Michigan, all ranked top 6 all time in KenPom's net ratings, which is pretty crazy. Well, interestingly enough, though, one team in the previous top 6 only went on to win a title, 2001 Duke. That said, the current top 10 who in KenPom all-time net rating all made the Final Four. So I fully expect those 3 teams to make the Final Four, and I'm just going to eat some chalk and probably pick Houston in the bottom left region. I'm blanking. I believe it's the South because they're playing the second weekend in Houston. So, yeah, I think those are by far and away the 3 top teams in college basketball, and I don't think there's anything that will probably change my mind there. I know it's not sexy, but –
yeah, well, I was going to save it, but we're going to get into that. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think that happened. Last year was the same thing where we had a lot of chalk and
4 number 1 seed last year.
Yeah, it was just all that they were just far and away better. The only thing I was going to say is I also have those 3 1 seeds in there. The only future I'm going to place. I'm actually going to take Illinois to come out of that region. It's the I believe Iowa State or not Florida, Houston, and Illinois region. I'm going to take. That's my one little like contrarian play, I guess.
Why them?
They're just really good on offense. I don't think they play any defense, but they can just score. And I think if they just stay hot and play good offense all tournament, they're going to be very, very tough to beat. Which the Houston teams typically play fantastic defense. So that's going to be if it gets that's going to be a fun matchup between them. But I think they're one of the better offensive teams in the country, and they score a shit ton of points.
Interesting. So my only kind of impression of Illinois is when they lost at home to Wisconsin. So I don't think very highly of them. So I guess
they have the second ranked offense nationally by Ken Palm. So
didn't they have that the last few years and they just flamed out pretty early?
Probably. I think they have a pretty terrible defensive rating, but who knows? They don't play good defense is the bottom line. But I typically like to go for those teams. I've been on Alabama for the past couple of years too. That the team they just would score a shit ton of points and play no defense as well.
Get the hell off the Alabama band.
Yeah, this is the first year in years I don't have an Alabama future, and I'm happy about it now because I don't think they have a prayer. But I was on them for the last like 5 years and just lost money. Obviously.
I would love the Hofstra Pride to just kick the shit out of Alabama as an 11.5-point dog. Just for the pure South Shore Long Island in me. Have been to Hofstra campus many a times, played lacrosse there. Holds a not a special place in my heart, but it's just it's the hometown team. And they're in the dance for the first time in 25 years. Win for the old Hooters in Uniondale, baby. Come on. Quince, we were talking a bit about how there was a lot of chalk last year. 4 number 1 seeds to make the Final Four, the first time that happened since 2008. But also last year, and just in the nil era since that started, big favorites, like 8+ point favorites, have absolutely dominated. They went 21-0 straight up last year. They are 57-5 in the last 3 tournaments. And last year, favorites were 14-1 straight up in the Sweet 16 and later on, which is pretty crazy. So the favorites have just been cleaning up here. There haven't been that many upsets the last 3 years since nil really kicked into high gear. So just be a bit cautious when you're filling out your brackets, you're making your bets. And yeah, it's the nature of the beast. It's a completely different tournament now that nil is here to stay. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, there is a lot of talented. The only caveat is there is a lot of talented freshmen on some of these other teams too that could make a run. But like you said, a lot of them are one-man shows. You got the AJ from BYU, you have Acuff from Arkansas, but they have to basically carry these teams.
But those aren't mid-majors either.
I know.
They're still 4 and 6 seeds.
I know. But still, it feels like
Arkansas was the only double-digit seed to, I think, make the Sweet 16 last year, and they were an SEC team coached by John Calipari and had one of the most expensive rosters in college basketball.
Yeah. All right. I take.
They're not a mid-major. They're not a Cinderella story.
No, I know. They're just not the. I'm just thinking like outside the 1-2 seeds, but you're right. We're not gonna have a Cinderella story.
You think it is possible that AJ DeBanza can like pull like a Carmelo Anthony and lead BYU to the Final Four or like national title game?
I don't know. Maybe he's damn good, man.
He's fucking incredible. Where did they finish in the Big 12 tournament? I bet on them in round 1 against Kansas State. The sole reason being they did cover minus 11.5. The sole reason being was I watched Kansas State play Indiana earlier this year because I bet on Kansas State, and Kansas State got their doors kicked in, and I was like, AJ DeBanza is just going to just daddy this team, just dominate them, and he did. He had like 40-something points or something.
I think they lost to Houston, but I think they were up like 5 or 6 points at halftime, and Houston ended up pulling away late.
Interesting. Good to know.
But it wasn't the final or anything. It was that final was Arizona versus Houston. I think it was either the semi or quarterfinal.
Is there any dart that you would be willing to throw at like a national champion or a Final Four team outside of Illinois? No, right?
Illinois is the only team I'm taking. They're plus 375 right now. You can get that's like at the current moment that's probably enough of a dart that I'm gonna take. But like I would maybe look into like the Sweet 16 dart throws or like Elite Eights. But I'm in the same boat as you where I just don't think like any of these. I think it's gonna be very chalky again. I don't think any of these smaller teams can make like a Final Four or a national championship at this point. So at 375 is pretty much as far as I'm going to go unless I see something else just astronomical pop up.
Yeah. It's tough from that standpoint, but look, we'll just have to look for the money and the crumbs here. Iowa State dart. Interesting.
Yeah, They're plus 320 to make the Final Four though too. They're more of a favorite than Illinois. So like it's
don't
how
hate
much
it.
you at a dart.
I mean, they are in the trapezoid of excellence. They are really good on both ends of the floor. They rank 21st in the nation in offensive efficiency and 4th in defensive efficiency. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but
BYU 66-1 to make the Final Four. If you have any inkling right now, I'm just checking see if there's any darts. Let's see. What about the Sweet 16?
Wisconsin. Not that they're gonna, but I'm just curious.
Final Four.
Yeah.
18-1. Not even that crazy.
Wisconsin's 18-1 to make the Final Four.
Yeah.
That is awful. Please, no one make that bet. That is just horrible, horrible odds.
They're plus 145 to make the Sweet 16. But that's not bad. You could maybe.
I don't hate that. I guess they would be an underdog though against Arkansas, probably. Like, if you did just want to play it straight up and not have to deal with round one.
They might not be.
I don't know. I feel like that spread's probably anywhere from like pick them to.
No, I lied. They're going to be Arkansas's minus 120. So that means they're probably assuming that Arkansas is going to be a favorite. And that's the matchup.
I would just wait, I guess. But then also like Arkansas could get upset. So,
mm-hmm.
All right. But all right. So I wouldn't bet them 18-1 to make the Final Four. Plus 145 to make the Sweet 16. I'm intrigued by. I like UCLA to make the Sweet 16. I believe it was plus 258 I saw yesterday.
Plus 280. I got it all pulled up here. I got you.
Plus 280, so I would have got negative CLV. But the firm is high on the Fighting Mick Cronin's. Could be a Calcutta pick in tonight's draft. We'll see. But those injuries scare us a bit. We'll say that. But
I don't know if there's anything else, man.
It's
chalky.
Pretty bone dry out there. We got to find the money in the crumbs. But an important thing that the people at home need to realize is you do not need to. Hold on. Hey, gents, is it true that Wisconsin has been approved for a sports betting market? It is going to the governor's desk for his signature. So if he approves it and he signs off on it, then yes, online sports betting is coming to America's Dairyland. The great state of Wisconsin might have it soon. So yes, that is potentially true. It awaits the governor's signature. The bill is on his desk.
Nice.
But I was saying, so it will become, I believe, the 33rd state that legalized online sports gambling.
Mm-hmm.
But an important note for the listeners at home. One, just you do not need to bet on every game just because you're watching every game. Pick and choose your spots. Don't go over your skis. Have fun. Bet responsibly. Set aside a bankroll. Don't bet more than you could afford to lose, and just have fun. That's a real, true overarching message. You do not need to bet on every single game. Enjoy it. Enjoy the games. Anything that you have, piece of advice for the listeners at home?
No, I'm in the same boat. This is just fun. There's going to be more eyes on college basketball. The lines are going to be sharper at this point. So, have some fun, pick who you want to, fill out a bunch of brackets, get in some pools, give yourself a shot to win some money in March Madness. But really, mostly, I would say just enjoy the games, have some fun. Like we're going through this, picking games that we like, trying to, follow some teams using some stats and stuff. But in the end, it's all for fun, just to have a good weekend enjoying the games. Hopefully we get a good tournament. There's a lot of star power in the tournament from a freshman perspective. I think the first 12 of the first projected 13 picks, or almost all the lottery picks, are actually in the tournament this year, which is kind of rare. So you're going to get to see a lot of talent just across the board this weekend. So I would just enjoy that.
There's a ton of star talent across the board this year. The freshman class is pretty impressive. Yeah, look, my card for round one will be, I just gave you 4 bets. It might be 5. We're picking and choosing spots. I'm not going to bet all 32 games, right? That's just crazy, and that's just a disaster waiting to happen. Look, me even betting 5 games without probably watching much college basketball outside of the Wisconsin Badgers this year is probably not the best idea, but I'm going to have fun, all right? I'm not going to bet more than I could afford to lose, and we're enjoy the games. We're going to watch a lot of college basketball. We're going to stuff our faces and just pound the over on the amount of drinks consumed Thursday and Friday night. It's going to be an all-out war. I was just in Miami, and I'm still feeling the effects from that. So I got to recharge the batteries a bit here in the next 48 hours somehow. Actually, like 40 hours, 36 hours.
Yeah, you recharge when March is over. You're not recharging too much here.
This is true. As John Rothstein says, we sleep in May. This is March. Remain sharp. Do not take bait. Ryan, what do you have to plug before we go?
We're, Casey said, former colleagues, I'm now over at Pikkit Sports. So just follow Pikkit Sports on Twitter, on all socials. It's just at Pikkit Sports. You can find me at rborn22 on Twitter. I will tweet out the link and everything as well. But we have hopefully something cool coming out from Pikkit tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. I'll make an announcement on Twitter and whatnot as well, but don't want to give too many spoilers, but surrounding, March Madness. So hopefully we should have that out and ready tomorrow. We've been working hard on it. So I'm very excited about it, but we'll see what happens tomorrow, and I'll let everyone know. But that's all I got.
I got a little amuse-bouche from you about it, and it should be a good thing for the folks on X and wherever else. Also, another piece of advice: there are a lot of free-to-play brackets where you could just win random shit. Play all of those; they cost $0 to enter, and like worst case scenario, you win something. Yeah. I actually, when Louisville beat Michigan 2013, I won a mini iPad from one of those.
That's crazy.
Coincidentally enough. But Ryan, since you obviously left, you haven't kept your ear to the ground here. But I gotta tell the good folks about this because it's pretty crazy. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
I'm pulling it up.
I wasn't keeping. I think I know what you're talking about because I saw this.
Do you?
No, I don't know.
Well, let's see. There are 2 massive enhanced welcome offers. So if you are new to sports betting and you have never signed up before, please, now is the time to do it because on FanDuel, you could get a $3,000 risk-free basically bets. And if you just use our guides and use Profit Duel's profit coaches, we can help you turn that into an easy $1,500. And also the Score also enhanced their welcome offer to a risk-free $1,000. And we could show you how to make $500 worth of profit from that really quickly. So if you're new to sports betting, come on, sign up for Profit Duel. We'll show you how to sign up for all of these sports books, and we'll show you how to extract guaranteed money from every single promotion. You can make $2,000 easily. And we're running our March Madness sale right now, so you could get an annual platinum pass for $399, which comes out to just $1.09 a day. Or if you want a lifetime pass and you just want to pay once and profit forever, $749. So 70% off all deals for March Madness, and we'll show you how to make thousands of dollars in real time, no matter what happens to your bracket, no matter who wins, whatever surprises there will be. The only sure thing in March is that Profit Duel will show you how to turn your sportsbook and casino promotions into guaranteed money, and Ryan can attest to that.
Yeah, that new welcome offer is crazy. They haven't splurged it up that high in a while. So definitely take advantage if you're out there. It's not going to last long.
And also Fanatics, they are doing I believe 10 profit dues. Fanatics is going to have Livy Dune promoting 10 profit boosts every day of March Madness. So be on the lookout for that. You can use the Profit Duel boost matcher for all of those to make guaranteed cash. It's a really great time of year to clean up from the bookmakers. So
yeah, there's not a lot of daily ones out yet, but there's going to be, as soon as the tournament hits, I'm expecting a flurry.
Pretty crazy. One last nugget. Since the NCAA tournament expanded to 68 teams, a first 4 team has advanced to the round of 32 in 12 of 14 years. Do you think that will happen this year as these games kick off right now?
Yeah, I guess so. Now that you just gave me the stats, I feel like I have to say yes.
Well, don't let my notes and nuggets sway you any one way or the other. All right, but this was fun. We'll do it again soon. Oh, any golfers for the Valspar Championship?
You're asking me, or you got something you want to spill?
I'm not. I'll deal with that tomorrow. I did take Dean Burmester to win Live South Africa. He is from South Africa. Data Golf liked him at 16-1. I was able to grab him at 30-1 on DraftKings. So I'll put that on the fridge. It will not cash or come close to cashing. But Dean Burmester, if you could still get 30-1 out there to win Live South Africa, get some really nice positive EV over there for a surefire loser or second place.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. We can maybe we'll bet him runner up, just straight up.
If there's a runner up market, please let me know, because there's been 9 golf tournaments on the PGA Tour this season. I've had the runner up in 5 of them. It's been fun.
You need a runner up market, then they should make it just for you.
They should. We got to talk to the guys at Profit X. Maybe they'll do that for us.
Yeah, they might.
But anyways, this was fun. We'll do it again soon. It's great to see you. Tell the Pikkit team I say hello, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, you do the same to the Profit Tool guys.
I will. All right. Have a good night, everyone.